Much love, many blessings, everyone, to my soul fam and the universe. My name is Matthew Del Amor, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about a topic that's not only dear to me and a part of my healing journey, but something that is essential if you're on your path to becoming your best self. In this very first podcast episode, we're going to be talking about self love, what it is, and how you can implement it in your daily practice to not only help you become a better version of yourself, but to embody, embrace, and radiate this warmth, this beauty, this love, essence, and energy that is going to make your life become completely transformed. So, by the end of this episode, you're going to have a better understanding of what self love is. I want you to imagine what it feels like to be outside on a sunny day and to have the sun at a temperature that's not too hot, not too cold, but just warm and nourishing. I want you to imagine that now be a feeling on the inside. That, in essence, is what self love can do to you. It's a form of contentment with who you are by embracing yourself, flaws and all. It is an essential aspect to building a fulfilling life. And self love is going to make it so that you become your best friend, your best supporter, and ultimately, you're going to give yourself permission to not only set healthy boundaries, standards, but you're going to provide yourself the pathway to fully embracing what you deserve and understanding what you're worth. It's important to understand that self love is not about arrogance or selfishness, it's actually deeper than that. It's connecting yourself to the abundant, unconditional vibration, frequency, and energy of love that is all around us. Now, this goes a little bit deeper into universal concepts, spirituality, which we're going to dive into in this channel. But just know, love is something that you can tap into right now. And it's not dependent on your external circumstances, relationships, achievements, possessions, none of that. Self love and love in and of itself can be found within each and every one of us. So that's why it's such a foundational aspect to our healing journey. And it's going to be crucial to understand what that is. We're going to go into detail in this episode. First, I just want to thank you all for tuning in. If you're new here, consider subscribing, but let me earn your subscription. Let me earn the like. I want you to pay attention a little bit more into this episode as we go into practical details of how you're going to be able to utilize self-love and, God willingly, transform your life for the better. So what is self-love? Self-love is a knowing, an unshakable belief that you are worthy of love and respect. It's about embracing your values, your standards, and treating yourself with kindness and compassion as you would your best friend, your family member, or someone that you are fond of and care about deeply. It's about turning your love and attention inward to the person that you're with the most on a daily basis. So please understand, self-love is about giving yourself all those things that normally society kind of gives us the idea that we need to receive from others, but it's actually the opposite. In order for us to have a healthy and thriving relationship with others, we need to first have one with ourselves. That's going to allow us to be able to understand what we need, what we want, and ultimately to understand the standards that we have for those in our lives so that we can avoid not only unhealthy relationships, but unhealthy patterns that do not serve us or our higher selves. Self-love is about taking yourself into consideration first. Again, from a standpoint of kindness and compassion, knowing that in order for you to show up your best for others, you need to first show up for yourself in the best way possible. Let's talk about some applications and more about how you can use self-love. Self-love begins with self-awareness and self-acceptance. I say self-awareness because first, you have to become aware that you're capable of giving yourself love in the first place. Self-acceptance comes next because you have to be willing to accept yourself as you are, knowing that there's nothing for you to do or achieve that's going to make you worthy of love. Because if it was, then you would be dependent on those things in order to give yourself that love. I'm here to tell you that you can extend yourself the loving kindness that you deserve just by being who you are. Because you need to understand that you are worthy of love and respect for just being. That's correct. By having life force energy within you, you are precious, you are vital, and you are essential to this world. You have a purpose and a reason for your existence. So that's why self-love is going to be so vital, and why self-awareness and self-acceptance are essential to allow yourself to come into that mental space of cultivating self-love from within. And just watch as you practice this on a daily basis, you're going to begin to see life in a new light. In addition to that, you can begin to build self-love by developing a relationship of getting to know yourself better. I advise to take time to write down your strengths. What is it that you feel makes you unique and that you enjoy about yourself? Now, this is going to be something that you need to practice at, because society, and if you have unresolved wounds, which we'll talk about in another episode, you may have shut out part of yourself that was your authentic self long ago. You may not even know truly what your strengths are just yet. And guys, and my soul fam, that's part of the beauty of the healing journey. It's uncovering more and more about who you are on a daily basis, your unique light, and your authenticity. Just know, if you have a good idea of what your strengths are, I recommend you write them down. This is going to be fuel to help inspire you and to remind yourself you have a lot going for you right now as you are, and you're going to continue to get better. In addition to that, I advise that you write down your values. What is it that you want? What is it that you need? What is it that you stand for? Being able to identify those is going to make you so much more lovable to yourself, because you'll have the ability to know what you stand for, to know what you're about, and you'll connect with that and others just like that. Let's continue to talk about another important aspect of self-love, which is self-compassion. Self-compassion is about taking the aspect of compassion in and of itself, which is having empathy for others who are struggling and suffering, and wanting to put an end to it to the best of your ability. So in that case, self-compassion is about identifying the suffering that is going on within you and yourself, and having the ability to extend kindness to yourself to help end it. See, on my journey, I've learned that a lot of times suffering can come from within, from the way we think and use our minds. So we must be mindful of that. This is more material for another episode, but just know you have the power within you to end suffering through the thoughts you think, the words you speak, and the actions that you take. Just know that you are worthy of extending kindness to yourself. When negative self-talk arises within you, challenge it with the positive alternative and with positive affirmations. This is going to help you get into the habit of choosing the positive path, of choosing positive thinking, which in and of itself is an empowering form of self-love. Choosing to think positively is only going to serve you in your highest good, so that's important to know. In addition to that, it's important to understand that it's okay not to be perfect, guys. We all make mistakes. Life is a school of learning. Education doesn't end in high school or college. It really goes on for the rest of our lives. Those who stop learning, in my opinion, are those who stop growing. So what I would say, it's important to acknowledge your mistakes and your imperfections without judgment, but rather from a place of assessment, which is more neutral, with the intention to help yourself improve. It's okay to embrace that we're not perfect. We all make mistakes. And in my opinion, we're all doing the best that we can. It's not making mistakes that's going to determine your value, but rather your effort and your progress. By you having the intention and the commitment to not give up on yourself and to not give up on those who are also earnestly working to make themselves better, that's going to give you more fuel to love yourself and give you more fuel to believe in yourself. So practicing self-compassion is also going to make it so much easier to cultivate self-love from within. As mentioned earlier, Soul Fam, another important aspect of self-love is setting boundaries. It's important for us to learn to say no to activities and people who drain our energy, who no longer serve us, and who undermine our self-worth. It's important to understand that it's okay to have to outgrow certain relationships. Sometimes people don't have your best interest in mind, whether they're manipulating you, whether they're using you, whether they're just overall taking you for granted, your kindness, your heart, your efforts. When that is the case, self-love is going to give you the strength to say no. It's going to give you the strength to set boundaries and learn to walk away. See, love in and of itself is not something to be forced. It's something that flows. And that's what self-love can do from within. It just flows. And with others, love in and of itself should just flow. If it's ever something that you have to force, just know that may not be love. While it is important to work and communicate with people, love in and of itself has to be mutual. It has to be both parties involved and have a willingness. So fam, when there are relationships or activities that are no longer serving you, learn to say no and prioritize your self-worth, your inner peace, and your happiness. Also, prioritize self-care activities that are going to better nurture your mental health and well-being, such things as reading, meditation, walking, or exercising. I mean, going outside in nature in and of itself can be very healing, and it can help you not only expand your mindset, but it can also take out a lot of your anxiety and depression. We get caught up on the day-to-day so often that we don't even give ourselves the time of day. How many of us wake up and go straight to work, or wake up and just straight to helping others? And it's understandable. We all have priorities. We all have tasks. But putting yourself first should also be a priority. Because again, how can you show up for others in the best way if you're not showing up for yourself in the best way? It's kind of like the idea of filling up your cup first, and then with the overflow of that love and abundance that's within you, you can provide that to others without draining yourself. This is going to go into other concepts later on in future episodes. So again, if you guys are taking value from this episode, feel free to subscribe. We have new podcasts coming out that are around the ideas and concepts of personal development, mindset, mental wellness, and even motivation and inspiration. It's also about spiritual awakening and healing. So please feel free to subscribe and like if you guys are enjoying this content. Another important aspect in our self-love toolkit is going to be practicing gratitude on a daily basis. Gratitude is going to give us more fuel for our self-love practice, in that it gives us the ability to shift our focus into something more positive, or the overall positive aspects of our lives. I would advise to start the practice of thinking about 3 things that you're grateful for when you first wake up and rise in the morning. And what are 3 things that you're grateful for that happened in your day when you're about to rest before you go to bed? This is going to help you really increase that positive energy within you. Again, giving you more fuel to practice self-love and to have things to focus on that you can feel grateful for and shine your love on. This is going to go back to increasing that feeling of warmth and contentment that we talked about, which is overall fundamental for shifting our energy in a more positive manner and really helping us embrace that feeling of self-love and fulfillment. Another important aspect is going to be practicing mindfulness. This is going to allow us to be present in the moment, but also to savor each and every aspect of our daily lives, from the small things that we think about to the little things that we experience. Because remember, guys, and so fam, it's not necessarily the big accomplishments that are going to drive our happiness. It's about embracing the little things day by day. That's really going to accumulate and cultivate into a fulfilling journey, because it's both about the journey and the destination that is going to make an overall fulfilling life. All right, dear listeners and soul fam, as we wrap up today's episode, I want to challenge you to implement some of the practices that we talked about in this video for the next 30 days. Take an exercise or practice that I mentioned in this video, your choice, or practice them all, and document your journey over the next 30 days. Share with us in the comment section below what some of your challenges are, your difficulties, and your victories. I want to hear how self-love is helping you become the better version of yourself. Be sure to join our community, as we all are here to support each other on our self-love and overall healing journey. Self-love in and of itself is not a destination, but an ongoing and continuous journey. So be sure to have patience with yourself, celebrate your progress, and take time to practice self-love every single day. And it's important that you take time to embrace the beautiful person that you are. Know that you are worthy of love. You are worthy of commitment. Know that you are worthy of kindness and respect, and that you are chosen. Each and every one of you watching this video is a winner. You've overcome so much just to be here. So remember that and extend some grace and kindness to yourself. So as we conclude today's episodes, a closing comment is this. Just remember, SoFam, that our capacity to love others is intricately connected to the capacity that we have to love ourselves. So nurture the love within you. Allow it to radiate outward and to touch the lives and environments of everyone you encounter. Wishing you a day filled with self-love and light. Until next time, take care, much love, and many blessings. Good things to you and yours always.